Alright guys, as requested, today I'm going to be showing off my GOAT control deck.
YugiNoNo!
So if you guys do not know what GOAT control is, or if you don't know what GOAT format is, you might want to watch my introduction to GOAT format video because you are going to be lost as shit on this deck profile. And I'm really excited to show you guys this deck profile. I don't play standard GOAT as much as I play Beast Down, for example, but this deck is still such a classic and it's so much fun. Alright, starting off with Blackluster Soldier himself, like king dick of the format. Like, he really is. This and Thousand Eyes and, like, I mean, a few other monsters, of course, but, like, this guy is really MVP because if you top deck this, I mean, this guy just steals games. I mean, he banishes cards, he can attack twice, he's so good. And I deviate a little bit from the standard GOAT deck just to spice things up, but I don't deviate too much. So I only play one Air Knight Parshath. This card is really, really good, but I like to play Jinzo because Jinzo can steal games on his own, and it's really good against, like, Beast Down and stuff, you know, that play a lot of traps. And if you guys don't know, when I'm talking about Beast Down, I'm referring to Zoo Beatdown. That's another name for it. But yeah, that deck maxes out on, like, Sakuretsu armor, and then, of course, every deck plays Mirror Force, and this card, you know, says that you can't activate those cards, so it's really good. And then for my flip monsters, I'm playing 2 Magician of Faith, and then 2 Magical Merchant. This is pretty self-explanatory. I wish I had Super Faiths, but I don't. I do have Super Merchants, though, which is pretty cool. But yeah, Magician of Faith, of course, recycles your spells from your graveyard, lets you reuse them, like Pot of Greed, so you can draw even more cards. It's so good. And Magical Merchant just helps you get through your deck faster, and they are both also level 1 lights, which is really good in the deck, because them being level 1, you can activate Metamorphosis, go into Thousand Eyes, it's really good, and them being light, you know, they're lights for BLS, so it's really strong. And for the last flip monster, I am playing Morphing Jar, because this guy just fixes dead hands, and he also helps you dig through your deck. And to reset the flip monsters, of course you play Tsukiyomi. This, of course, also sets Thousand Eyes Restrict, so you could suck up another opponent's monster. It's so good. And then I'm playing 2 Xarian Universe. I just like Xarian. He really comes in clutch, you know, killing GOAT tokens because he does piercing damage and all that, so it's really fun. And of course you play the Trap Popper, Breaker the Magical Warrior, and you play the little Fuzzball Sengan. I mean, this card is legend, guys, and it basically searches the whole deck because, you know, you can search Merchant and Faith and Morphing Jar and Tsukiyomi, basically anything that you can need. What would be really broken, though, is if it searched Tribe Infecting, but it doesn't. Tribe Infecting, of course, is your board wipe, and ideally you want to pitch Sinister Serpent because Sinister Serpent just keeps coming back to your hand. And of course, GOAT format is way before the card text change for Sinister Serpent, so it will keep coming back to your hand no matter what. It will not banish itself. And for the spells, of course, we're going to start this off with the Trinity. The Trinity being Delinquent Duo, which takes cards out of your opponent's hand, and Graceful Charity and Pot of Greed, which lets you see cards. And for the rest of the broken spell lineup, we have Premature Burial, Heavy Storm, and Snatch Steal. Premature Burial allowing you to special summon from your graveyard, Heavy Storm allowing you to literally blow out your opponent, and then Snatch Steal, which lets you take an opponent's monster. And then I play 3 copies of Scapegoat. Sometimes I don't like 3 copies, but at the same time, though, it keeps you alive against Zoo and stuff. It helps you stall out until you can see your cards, and of course, you know, you use the GOAT tokens to go into Thousand Eyes. And of course, you do that by playing 3 copies of Metamorphosis. I really wish I had Super Metamorphosis, but once again, I do not. But I play 2 copies of Nobleman of Crossout because this card is phenomenal in this format, allowing you to, like, get damage in, really. That and getting rid of Magician of Fates and stuff so your opponent can't get even more advantage on you is always good. And then I play 2 copies of Book of Moon. I wish I had a second German Ultra, but I do not. But you play Book of Moon to set flip monsters so you can reflip them and gain their effects, and then also you can activate it resetting Thousand Eyes Restrict or you reuse its effect as well. And for the last spell, of course, we have Mystical Space Typhoon. And for the traps, of course, you play Mirror Force because this card is broken. It's probably the most broken trap card of the format. And then you play Call of the Haunted to special summon monsters back, Torrential Tribute, which of course is a board wipe, and it's basically your only board wipe of the format besides Lightning Vortex because Dark Hole and Raigeki were banned. And then I play 1 Sakuretsu Armor, 1 Ring of Destruction, which is such a good staple. This card was stealing games and, like, doing that last bit of life point damage before Cowboy was even thought of. And then I play 1 copy of Dust Tornado for more destruction, and then I tech in a Divine Wrath because it's just really good in the GOAT Mirror match because, you know, once again, stopping fates and all that is really fun. But to each their own. You can play a second Dust Tornado or anything, really. And I'm playing 17 monsters in my extra deck because back in the day, there was not an extra deck limit, so you could play as many monsters in your extra deck as you wanted. So starting off with 3 Thousand Eyes Restrict, the format-defining card. This card is just awesome. He allows you to suck up your opponent's monsters, and he creates a soft lock on the field because he's the only monster that can attack. It's just so good. And for my level 3s, I play Dragoness, the Wicked Knight, and Flame Ghost. For my level 4, I play Darkfire Dragon. For my 5s, of course, you play Fiend Skull Dragon, Reaper on the Nightmare, and Dark Bolter the Terrible. And Fiend Skull and Dark Bolter were actually pretty powerful for their time. And then for my 6s, I play a Dark Flare Knight, Dark Blade the Dragon Knight, Ojama King, and then Ryu Senshi. And fun fact, Dark Blade the Dragon Knight is one of my favorite ultimate rares of all time. time. It still looks really cool. And then for my 7s, I play the Last Warrior from Another Planet. This card is just so badass, you guys. And then I play Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. And I play one level 8, which is Gatling Dragon. And for my level 9, I have Master of Oz, which he doesn't have an effect. He's just a big-ass koala. Alright, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this deck profile. Go format is my favorite format of all time, and it never gets old to play. Feel free to use this deck profile and explore the format and have fun. And as always, guys, be sure to dick slap that like button and subscribe.
Subscribe!